Good morning, patrons in the invitation tier. Thank you so much for joining me at this time when we're actually going through a rather difficult time in the world. And so it's really important that we create a light within ourselves. And that's what today's lesson is going to be about. And it'll also be kind of a seasonal thing. So I want you to create a little border with another 8.5 by 11 sheet folded around the edges, and you can just draw a yellow line. And then we're actually going to get started with the yellow to begin with. And today, rather than putting it in my lap and showing you how I do that, I think I'll do it upright like this so you can see me doing it. And to begin with, I'll just let the yellow spread out on this. And I want you to just let it glow in many different directions. You can see that I'm getting some lines on the edges, but I don't really want that. So I'll go around the yellow with a lighter yellow in order to fill that top portion of the page. Next, I want you to take the blue, and we've done this many times before. We've allowed blue to kind of surround down below. I'm kind of making circular motions because it's hard for me to get to the bottom. There we go. And I do want this to kind of encompass very lightly a little bit of the yellow and lightly surround it, but not at the top. The yellow goes right off the top of the paper. Then I want you to return to your yellow and kind of look in this yellow space for where you see the yellow naturally wants to get darker. And just allow yourself to darken that. If you see certain movements even that you think should be darker, or spaces, just let them do that. And then the same thing's going to happen in the blue. Look for where it's darker and deepen it. I don't know why it's darker over here, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now you see we have a development of a composition that has yellow above with a little bit of deepening in it. And we also have blue down below, which is also creating a little bit more form with the darker blue on the lighter blue. Okay, now I want you to take your red, patrons, and where the yellow has become a little richer, I want you to lightly put a little red over those places to make it kind of orange, okay? So you can see that I'm deepening right on top of the yellow spaces, and just allow yourself to be free with this. A lot of my movements are going from the upper left to the lower right, and that's because I'm working on the right side. This is not necessary for you to do it that way. And now I'm going to bring this red right from this delicious orange pretty much straight down. Straight down to the thicker blue area. So I'm going to have to check and see if that's straight. And I see that it's not, so let me just straighten it up a little bit. Okay, now I can fill it in a bit. You can see that I'm kind of creating a sort of candle-like feeling here. And now let's develop the whole picture. So we have this scooping holder down here. So we'll come back to our blue. And maybe this will be our handle here for this candle holder. And let's bring sort of a rounded part behind. And probably we're going to want to have this center really dark. Now we have a pretty dark blue here. And if I press very, very dark in here with the tip, I'm going to be able to really blacken that area that's supposed to be inside. So you have to press really strongly now. And you can see how that makes this area recede. And that's important. This picture looks very rudimentary and kind of raw right now. So let's see if we can try to get it to look a little bit more professional or more multi-dimensional. I see that the darkness is on the sides of my little candle holder. So I'll just darken a little bit on the sides, leaving the center part light. That'll help to give me some 3D effect. And let's work on my handle too. You can see that the handle's kind of swinging around here. Maybe it even have like another little piece that someone could grab onto. And then we have this very interesting background, don't we? It's kind of going a little bit straight here, and then it goes up. And why don't we just let it follow what it started to do? If I want to have some horizontal movements behind it, I can always bring those in. But we don't have to keep this background area completely straight across like a table. We can just sort of let ourselves go with it. Now, with our dear little candle here, we need to straighten it up for one, because I was looking at it sideways. So I'll just give a little bit of blue contouring to it, and then come right back with the red and fill it in. So it starts to look a little bit more candle. And of course, we can mix the color and make it violet too. And all the way up to the top where we have, again, a little bit of a red-orange. And that is going to be created, this sort of flicker of our candle, by putting on some really strong yellow. And then let's put a little bit of red into it, especially on the edges. And maybe even a sense of a wick, little blue wick in there. Okay, so now I know I need to work a little bit more in the background. So as you can see, there's almost like light white areas, and that's because I haven't done much in there since the beginning, and that's fine. Why don't I just leave a little bit of white? And as you can see, I'm going to deepen around to create a little bit more beauty and light, maybe even some crossing this way. And I can bring some light right into the blue to kind of warm it up, as if the yellow were casting its light from the candle. And then you can see that the picture starts to take a lot of shape. It doesn't have very much red in it. So at the end, I want you to come back with your red and really brighten that. And these red and green colors, that is really what takes us into this season. So don't be afraid to add a little bit of punch with the red at the end to give that glow, that nice warmth that we want to feel from the light that we need to take within ourselves at this time of year. And look, even a little bit of red punch right into the darknesses of the shadows here in the blue, both inside the holder for the candle, but also a little bit on the rim, as I told you before, to create a kind of shading. And I think I want this to connect. So I'm gonna put just finally a little bit of blue here on mine. I don't know what your little candle holder will look like and what your candle will look like. It doesn't need to look like mine, but please, whatever you do, let it be a kind of free rendition, not too realistic. Feel rather the warmth of light coming to you. That's what's important here, not so much the shape of the candle or the shape of the holder. I hope that this picture will bring you a lot of light and joy into the season, and that you'll find that you can create a rendition of a candle that is quite unique and all your own. Show me what you create. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.